Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Welcome to our special meeting of September 6th. It'll be very brief, I think. Please note the council's in full attendance. And our first items from council. I have one. The Fill the Boot campaign that we talked about at Tuesday's meeting, I think we may have given the impression it was this coming Saturday. It is not. It is September 15th, the following Saturday. And it's going to be at Navarro and 463. Is that where? Several spots? Okay. One on 59 Business, I think, and, okay. So just be careful out there, and I hope it's successful. But so Saturday, September 15th, and folks can expect to see those guys out there. All right, excellent. I just want to clear that up. Any other items from council? Okay, y'all really want to get out of here, and I'm holding this up, so.
We're trying to set a record.
Uh-oh, what's that?
I said, we're trying to set a record.
Oh, no, you got to do our business. Okay, citizens' communication. We'll open that up if anyone would like to address the council on any topic. He does not want to. Okay, seeing no one. And that, for those people watching, that was a reference to there's not a lot of citizens here tonight, which is understandable. We'll close citizens' communication. We do have one item with a public hearing. So, Thomas?
Sure. This is item C1, an ordinance setting the tax rate at a total rate of $0.6224 per $100 of property valuation and levying a tax upon all property subject to taxation within the city of Victoria, Texas for the 2018 tax year for the use and support of the municipal government of the city of Victoria, providing for the assessment and collection of taxes, apportioning said levy amount to the various funds and items for which revenue must be raised, including providing a sinking fund for the retirement of the bonded debt of the city, providing for penalties and interest for delinquent taxes as prescribed by the Texas Tax Code, repealing all conflicting ordinances, providing for savings, and declaring an effective date.
Okay, so let's open the public hearing on C1 if anyone would like to speak about that item. Seeing no one, will close the public hearing. I do know we have an update on the health plan, some information, so why don't we just do that first, and then if anyone wants to discuss any other aspect, we certainly can.
Sure.
Staff.
And I know Cheryl has a quick PowerPoint, but just to summarize, Mr. De La Garza asked last week about lowering the individual deductible by $200. And so when we looked at that, we had to determine what a premium increase would be for employees, shifting the cost to the employees, or if we shifted the cost 100% back to the city, what that cost would be. And so your PowerPoint shows that cost and what the employee premium cost would be, but Cheryl can go through that quickly.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and members of council. The presentation just really takes the change in the direction provided by Mr. De La Garza and lowered the two individual deductibles by that $200, changing Plan 1 from $1,750 down to $1,550 for an individual deductible. Plan 2 changing that $3,200 that was originally proposed down to $3,000. That was the only change that we were asked to look at with regards to the deductible. So it came down to an impact of that. As Ms. Garrett has communicated already, it was either increase the premium structures to offset that cost that was going to be added back to the plan, or go back and look at coming back and having the city pick up that cost. At the end of the day, the numbers are based on projected enrollment numbers that our actuary looked at for each plan, Plan 1 and Plan 2. So that total number, about 40,000, is what we're looking at with regards to this shift. So if we looked at the premium structure, what I have sort of grayed out there in the middle is what we originally proposed the premium structures to look like for each plan. The updated monthly premium is with that change in mind, and then the difference of what that additional increase would look like. Plan 1 is the lower deductible, so there's a higher percentage of people who would more than likely migrate to that plan and participate in that plan, so you'll see a cost shift to that plan that is greater than Plan 2.
I don't see anybody asking
Okay.
any questions.
The last chart is
Wait,
just show,
a second,
oh, I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Del Garza, did you have a question?
No.
Okay, thank you.
The last chart just summarizes yet again the employee-only high deductible plans, and it gives you an idea not only where the total premiums were when we proposed them beginning of August to now the updated, if this change goes into effect, the city contribution of what that looks like, and then the employee-only monthly premium and what that would look like. We were still able to maintain, since it was a slight shift in that plan two, that 80-20 cost share in that one plan. But as you can see, there's a difference of about 1% cost share with Plan 1 that this change will impact as well.
So what I need a decision from council is, do you want to make the change in the $200 deductible? And if so, then do you want to shift it to the premium? Or do you want to shift it back to the health fund, which if we shift it back to the health fund, we're going to have to go back through each of our funds, the general fund, the water fund, all the enterprise funds, all the internal funds, and amend their budgets to do that shift. And
You're talking about the 39,596.
yeah, it may be 38, but it's going to be right in there.
And
Personally, I'm really not in favor of changing the deductible. I know there's been some discussion, but I haven't really said that. But I have one other question. Is another possibility to change the stipend, to take the 200 from the stipend?
Would you lower the stipend or?
If we lower the deductible, we could lower the stipend
Well,
also.
the stipend is a one-time expense, and we would consider this reoccurring because you're
You would consider the premiums recurring?
reoccurring, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So it's, yes, ma'am,
You'll face it again next year.
You will.
You just,
Right.
you know,
But the stipend is a one-time?
one-time money, yes, yes.
interesting thought.
I'm trying to see what we're buying for a small reduction in the, for $200 reduction as a percent of that total isn't much for that much money. I'm not pleased with it. I don't think it's a fair trade-off. You lower your deductible by $200, but you increase your premium. I don't think it's a good trade-off.
What percentage of participants would you estimate will reach that deductible? Just
So,
guess.
I do have that number. Let me get that
Oh,
in front
okay.
of me here. So currently, if we look at our current plan, we have in the high deductible that have met that individual 2,700, we have about 8% of folks who have met that already. In the PPO plan currently, the deductible for individual is 1,500, and we have about 13% who have met that.
So, I mean, I guess what we would be doing by lowering the threshold is just everybody else would cover that. We're asking everybody through higher premium, which is a decision. It's a good thing to bring up, but that's what we're asking to do. Have everybody else lower a little bit for that percentage that meet that deductible, so. I don't know, the actuaries gave us those, started out with those 1,750 and the other, forgive me, whatever it was. 32, yeah, right. And tried to balance that out for us. I'm happy the way it was, but I'm all ears. I don't, what y'all
I am
think?
for the reason that you stated, wanting to stay where we first proposed, because with the percentages that this really affects that meet their deductible, you're asking 87% of the participants in the plan to carry the water for those other 13%.
For that little bit, yeah.
I concur.
And just from that, I wish that it worked out differently, but just like a balloon, you can squeeze it somewhere, it's gonna pop out somewhere else, so.
I think it was a great question, though. It's interesting. I think it was a good question, Ricky. It's one of those things you can look at and tweak, but anyway.
I heard 5.
Y'all want
so-
to leave it, you want to leave it, or what do you,
I vote to leave it the way it is.
okay.
The
Thank
only other
you.
question I had was, were you researching any other type of PPO plan type changes around deductibles or out-of-pocket limits or anything like that?
For the PPO plan itself, No, sir, we actually came back and looked at the experience of our plan, and based on our benefit consultants, felt like we could either raise our premiums to where they needed to be in the PPO plan to offset that experience, or come up with a creative idea of offering two high deductible plans to help offset that.
Okay.
And so that's where we went.
All right.
Thank you, Cheryl.
I realize I didn't get a motion, but it's okay. So,
One time, a guy was trying to tell me his thoughts on insurance, and you get the insurance to cover for those large things that you know are gonna be devastating. So you buy car insurance, but you don't buy insurance to change the oil, replace the tires, fix the fan belts, things like that, put new brakes on it. You change it, you buy insurance for your car on the major things that are gonna affect you. We look at health insurance differently, and I don't know why. We just do as a society that is supposed to take care of every small aspirin we need, every toe splint we might need. And perhaps we're looking at it slightly incorrectly. It should be for those catastrophic things.
yeah,
Just a thought.
interesting point of view, yeah.
Probably where it's
That's-
going.
I think that's a good analogy if you're looking at a younger car. But if you're looking at,
What about antiques?
yes, an antique vehicle.
He's talking about my truck now.
How funny.
But
Yeah. I'm gonna say it right here now. Y'all get ready for next year. Department head, city manager, keep an eye on this inflation. It's
not going away.
You're gonna
still
be
in
right back
freefall.
here again in a year and wringing our hands and it's frustrating as heck. How much do we want to participate in this cost, you know? And that ship, you gotta start steering it one way or another. So, you know, we were all ready to do a sidewalk and we
Yes.
decided this was more important, which was, you know, I agree with that decision, but we'll be faced with that again. So I didn't get a motion. Does somebody want to make a motion for me?
make a motion to approve item C1 as presented.
Second.
Okay. We can continue to talk about it if y'all want anything at all in the budget, or I do want to point out again, this is not a tax increase. I think I've made that real clear. We're adopting the effective tax rate. Okay. No further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Okay, ayes have it. One other item.
Item D1 is a resolution approving the sale of tax foreclosed property, authorizing the city manager to execute all documents necessary to convey 203 Marvell to Platinum Home Investments LLC in exchange for $3,000 and declaring an effective date.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, ayes have it. Any further business? And we have a short meeting, looks like, for next Tuesday. One thing I forgot to mention, and items from council, I've asked that we put the game room situation under items from council with my name for next Tuesday. I'd like to clear up a little confusion that I think was caused the other evening, so I've added that to the agenda for next Tuesday. Thank you very much. We're adjourned.
Thank you.